Coming up on the Long Island Business Report, startup technology companies. They are some of the fastest growing businesses on Long Island, but will they improve the economy?
There's a lot of value here, but a lot of things in business, they won't make the investment until they're comfortable that there's a chance of success. And the only way to prove it is to do it first, and then people see, oh, that's the model, this can work here too.
We look at how to generate business and job growth in this quickly evolving market.
You know, we're building inertia. It's going to take time. You know, it's going to happen first in information technology, which has a shorter ramp up. But we also have a lot of biotechnology resources here on Long Island, from Stony Brook's biotechnology centers and Cold Spring Harbor laboratories, and even some things coming out of Brookhaven.
It's all straight ahead on this edition of the Long Island Business Report.
Funding for this program has been made possible by Charlotte and David Eckert and the Roush Foundation. And now, from Molloy College at the Madison Theater, here's Jim Paymar with the Long Island Business Report.
Hello, and thank you for being with us. I'm Jim Paymar with the Long Island Business Report. As 21st century technology becomes a greater force in the development of new business, Long Island programmers, entrepreneurs, and investors are pioneering high-tech startup companies and bolstering Long Island's business climate. Joining me to discuss the challenges of building a company from the ground up on the island are Ken Gatz. He is the founder and CEO of Procedure Technologies, a fundraising platform to help small businesses grow their capital. And John Murcott, founder and CEO of Karma 411. That's a site that provides online social fundraising solutions for nonprofits. Thank you, John and Ken, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Exciting what you're doing. You've all moved out to an incubator space out in Hicksville now. There's about, 7 companies working in 11,000 square feet right next to the railroad station, and you're creating jobs for Long Island. John, tell me a little bit about what your company, Karma 411, is doing and how you're creating jobs here on the island.
Sure. So Karma 411 is a crowdfunding platform. That means we help organizations raise money from large numbers of people. So an example would be with a lot of nonprofits, they want to leverage their supporters and their donors to give small contributions. You can think of it like the Obama methodology. He asked a large number of people to each give a little bit of money. So we do that for nonprofits. We also do it for organizations like Major League Baseball. They have large events where they also raise money for various nonprofits. So for example, the All-Star Game last year used our platform to help 10,000 people register and raise money for some nonprofits.
So this is all online. You go online,
Exactly.
You go to Karma 411, and then what do you do? How do you donate or commit your resources?
Right. The bottom line is these organizations don't want to ask for the donation directly. They want their supporters to ask their friends to make the donation. So for example, if I register for the All-Star Game for Major League Baseball and I want my friends to attend or maybe support a cancer organization, I have my own page within the look and feel of Major League Baseball, and I post it on Facebook. I tweet about it. I send emails to my friends, because organizations have found that the most persuasive way to ask people for money is when a friend asks a friend to help support the cause.
I see. And are you raising large sums of money?
Yeah, so we've done multiple campaigns that have raised over $1 million for one specific project.
Amazing.
Yes.
And Ken, Procedure, tell me a little bit about your company and how it operates.
So Procedure is based on the same platform that John has developed for not-for-profits. We're leveraging the base of that code to move that business into Procedure, which is for-profit companies. So at its most basic level, and it is a pretty complicated platform because it involves investments and investors, but at its most basic level, it gives an entry point for entrepreneurs to set up a profile for themselves, to take their idea, their team, the market that they're addressing, the problems that they're solving, and package that up in a neat, effective way for them to be able to communicate with other entrepreneurs and eventually with investors who can review it online and may want to invest in that company for them to raise capital.
So are these companies where you can buy shares?
Correct. So in the same way that John is doing this for not-for-profits, so donors giving money to not-for-profits.
Right.
These are investors giving money for profits in exchange for equity.
I see. And so what kind of companies are you involved with?
So we just started, we're a startup ourselves.
Right.
We started out just in the fall with Canrock Ventures. It's a partnership between, a joint venture between Karma 411, Canrock Ventures, and myself. We're currently in the process, we're operating in what you call stealth mode, which is you're building the technology and building the features that you want that you believe the marketplace will want. We're also working with development partners using the minimal viable product method of technology development, which is that you create a minimal product that can be deployed, not anticipating what the people will want, but finding out from their use of the minimal product what they do want, and only incorporating those features, not going and thinking, okay, we're going to sit in a room for 2 years and spend millions of dollars developing a product, and then no one's going to want it. We're getting feedback on a constant basis, doing iteration after iteration, and honing that product to the market to get a good market fit.
This is all about jobs, in my view. I've lived both in the Silicon Valley, I've lived up in the Seattle, Redmond area where Microsoft and Amazon are, and these are hubs of entrepreneurship and a lot of incubators and a lot of companies. I mean, everything from Hewlett-Packard to Apple to Google to Facebook, everything started out there. Can Long Island be that kind of place?
It can, and it has. So my partner, Mark Fasciano, and I started a company before Canrock Ventures called FatWire Software that literally started in his parents' house. So not in the garage, but above the garage. And it was just 4 people programming all day, getting the first customers, getting the first product out, and then we eventually built that to 140 employees. So you need the entrepreneurs like Ken, who will be that first person to put a stake in the ground, put some money behind an idea, and get that first product out there. But then it rapidly grows. You raise money and you hire more people to help build that product.
Are we an entrepreneurial hub, though, on Long Island? I mean, you know, we were typically aerospace and defense industry related employment center, and then we had Computer Associates. We went into the high tech realm. What about these up from the ground green shoots of entrepreneurship? So
we're starting to see those green shoots. Efforts like Accelerate Long Island and the seed funds that they have are deploying capital into a lot of these startups. My father started a company in the basement of our home also, which my brother and I took over, and we grew to over $20 million in revenue.
What was that company?
It's called Ceratrials Bioreclamation. It's a biotechnology tools company, so our clients are the pharmaceutical companies and other biotechnologies, academia.
So you kind of grew up in an entrepreneurial environment.
Absolutely, and you know, my father started a business before that company, and it didn't work out. And just like the American spirit, he dusted himself off, and a year later he found it. He picked himself up and he started this business, and it's, you know, we've created 40 jobs on Long Island in Westbury. Well, we're a New York State Empire Zone company. These are great jobs: laboratory technicians, laboratory managers, researchers, customer service people, technical service people. So it can be done here, and it is happening. One of the issues is that it's happening on such a spread out basis because Long Island is very spread out. And so what Accelerate Long Island, ProSeeder, Canrock Ventures are trying to do is trying to concentrate those efforts, trying to create communications between these spread out entrepreneurial little points of contact and bring them together, and also bring in the institutions, because we have great institutions here: Brookhaven National Laboratories, Stony Brook, Cold Spring Harbor Labs, great sources of technology, intellectual property, and leveraging that here on Long Island and keeping those companies here on Long Island.
I'm a young guy, and I'm just coming out of Stony Brook. I was a young guy, and I've got a great idea, and it is a great idea, but you know, getting from the great idea to actually physically producing something and making and monetizing it, that's a whole different ball game. How do they get started, John?
So you do need an incubator space. So you need an organization like Canrock Ventures that has not just capital, because you're going to need a little money to get this idea off the ground, but you also need some expertise, because you might not have written a business plan yet. You might not understand, how do I forecast the next 3 years of sales, and even what should be the value of my company. These are financial and business decisions that most people right out of school don't know. So what Canrock Ventures does is they say, we have a space, an incubator space in Hicksville. You can have these sets of desks over here. we will give you all the support you need. You'll have an HR person, you'll have an admin person, you'll have a CFO shared across the other businesses. And there are other entrepreneurs who have done this before. So if you're confused or you're concerned or you're feeling some pressure, you can go to Ken and say, what was it like for you when you did that first meeting with your big client?
How did you do it?
Exactly.
Where
so
do
you're
you go?
sharing all of that knowledge.
Right.
Literally, Ken's desk is 20 feet from my desk. Imagine this room. There's no cubes, there's no offices, there's no walls. It's just a wide open 11,000 square feet where I could almost just yell over to Ken and ask a question.
I see, okay. And so when these folks are coming in, is there capital available to them? What do they have to show you in order for you to write a check to say, hey, here's the seed money?
Right. So, I mean, the first thing about being an entrepreneur is that you have to believe in yourself. Okay. For other people to believe in you, you have to present a persona that you believe in yourself. You're going to get this done. If you want people to give you money, they have to know that you're going to be there through the thick and the thin. And there's a lot of good days and there's a lot of bad days in being an entrepreneur. It is not easy. You have to live it. It's a lifestyle. You live with that risk, but there's also the reward. And so there's a number of ways to get capital. I mean, one of the great benefits of being here on Long Island is we have a lot of wealthy people, a lot of successful people that understand these technologies, that want to mentor these entrepreneurs and that want to invest in these entrepreneurs. And so creating this network of investors around these entities like Accelerate Long Island and like Canrock Ventures is going to help facilitate more funding of these companies. Proceeder will be instrumental in making that happen.
And just in a nutshell, give me a few ideas that are rising up out at Canrock from the young people.
Yeah, so we have someone who's just right out of college. And I don't want to talk too much about his idea.
Sure.
I don't know how much he wants to share, but he's created a video platform in which people across the world can discuss ideas on specific political subjects. So he brings someone who's pro-Palestinian and someone who's pro-Israeli, and they create a whole online video chat room about ideas, and people can comment and they can be queued to be the next person on there. And his business model, he's still trying to he's figuring it out, but I think that he'll get there. We're helping them, and he's got a place to do his business. He's got technology resources. He's got a lot of the business services so that he can focus on what he's doing with his product and not have to worry about accounting and HR and things like that.
Right, just kind of letting the dream unfold and evolve and getting the resources that he needs to help him achieve his goals. Speaking of the Silicon Valley, I have to go back to it for a moment.
Sure.
I mean, Canrock is a great venture, but we don't have a lot of that going on in Long Island. I mean, you go out to the Silicon Valley, you've got Kleiner Perkins and Sequoia Capital. I mean, you've got people with billions of dollars, and they're just used to this mindset of throwing huge gobs of cash out in sound ideas like the Googles of the world.
Right.
How do we do that here?
Right. When they started, the Kleiner Perkins and the others, they also started with practically nothing. They had an idea, maybe they invested in a couple of small companies, and they didn't know how it was going to turn out. So what you need is those first people who will go out and kind of lay that stick in the ground. And that's what Canrock Ventures is doing. So if some of the companies, Proceeder, Carba 411, exit or have great successes, guess what? There will be more venture capital firms coming here. As Ken said, there's a lot of advantages to Long Island. The research institutions, you were talking about Stony Brook. My chief architect is from Stony Brook. We have interns from Cold Spring Harbor Labs. So there's a lot of value here. But a lot of things in business, they won't make the investment until they're comfortable that there's a chance of success. And the only way to prove it is to do it first. And then people see, oh, that's the model. This can work here too.
You talk about venture capital. New York City. I mean, talk about a capital zone. There is so much money there, and we are 37 minutes from Madison Theater to New York City. Why don't we tap into that?
We are tapping into that. I mean, John and I are in the city, a couple of days a week, and one of the benefits of Canrock Ventures and where Mark Fastiano decided to locate it is we walk out of our door within 30, 40 seconds, we're at the Hicksville train 40 minutes later, we're in Penn Station. We are meeting with those venture capital groups, and they're coming out on the train. They're coming out. And one of the benefits of the incubators, they're not just coming out to have one meeting. They're coming out, they're in this space, this collaborative space. So they're meeting at lunch, they're meeting 2 or 3 other entrepreneurs, or looking at other different companies. And so it is happening. It is happening. And as a business owner for the last 10 years on Long Island, there has been a lot of different initiatives, and none of them, to be honest, have really been that successful. I truly believe that Accelerate Long Island and Mark Lesko, we are making this happen. We're starting to see the wheels turn. We're building inertia. It's going to take time. It's going to happen first in information technology, which has a shorter ramp up, but we also have a lot of biotechnology resources here on Long Island, from Stony Brook's biotechnology centers and Cold Spring Harbor Laboratories, and even some things coming out of Brookhaven. Those are longer ramp ups for biotechnology. It's just a longer product cycle. But these things are happening, and they have to happen, because we need to transform the Long Island economy from the way that it is now into a technology base. And we can do it. We have the people, the talent is here, the money is here, and we have access to New York City. We know how to do this. It's going to happen.
What about housing, and what about maintaining youth here? I mean, the people are leaving really in droves, young people. They can't afford to live here. How do we create an environment where they can afford to live here, that there's something for them to do when they are here, that they're not living in a a little ranch house with a picket fence?
Right. Well, you do need high-paying jobs, and software in general. When these companies ramp up, those are high qualified, highly paid jobs. So the way that I look at it is, more likely than not, if there was a student who graduated from Long Island in high school, they went away to college and they come back, more likely than not, the first idea in their head is, I'm going to work on Wall Street, because that's where the money is. That's traditionally where a lot of people have gone. But certainly since 2008, that's not always possible.
It's a shrinking pie there.
Right. So how many of those young people thought, maybe I'll work for a startup, an early stage software company? My guess is right now, not very many. But those opportunities, when CanRock Ventures and Accelerate Long Island can get these businesses growing, then you'll have people to say, I can stay on Long Island. I can go to Hicksville, work for a startup. It's a good job, and then grow my career there.
What about the Jobs Act out of Washington?
Yeah, so the Jobs Act out of Washington is a major, major change to the way that these companies are going to be funded. So as it stands right now, even till today, even though the act was passed, it hasn't been fully implemented. And so what it's going to do is, you can go out through your brokerage account and you can buy a publicly traded company. But since the 1930s, since the the crash, when people were selling stock certificates on street corners in Manhattan, they have not allowed non-registered companies to sell securities to the general public. You cannot go out and put out an advertisement and say, I'm raising money for my company, basically to the world, a general solicitation. There is a ban on that. That is being removed first for accredited investors, people with a net worth over $1 million. And there's a balance there. There's a balance to make sure that these risky investments are in the hands of people who can withstand that risk and that risk of that loss.
And what could this mean for the entrepreneurial movement?
Absolutely. So traditionally, there's a number of ways you could raise money if you're trying to start a business. Typically, you have a friends and family round, so you ask your folks for some money, or your relatives, your rich uncle. Then you make it a little bit more advanced and go to an angel network. So these are typically organizations that will give a little bit of money, let's say $100,000 to $500,000. And then when you get a little bit more advanced from there, you look at venture capital firms. But what Ken is talking about, what about that massive pool of the crowd, if you will? Think of it like Obama. Traditionally, politicians raised money from big super PACs and from big donors. And of course, that is always going to continue. We're not getting rid of angel networks. We're not getting rid of venture capitalists. But there is a massive pool of potential investments from the crowd, if you will. But it has to be done smartly. You need people like Ken who can kind of lay out that roadmap of how do you transition.
How do you get the word out?
Yeah, so, and the general term is crowdfunding, but I don't like crowds. I don't like crowded restaurants, and I certainly don't want a crowd. My position, I don't want a crowd of investors in my business. I want people, those investors, to be people that I have a relationship with, that are going to add value, and that have a nexus. Okay, my business theory is that the investors, and the big change here, being able to just not go out to financial players, but to go out to investors that have a nexus with the business. I'll give you a couple of examples. The impetus for starting ProSeeder was a concept called Cure Builder. And so the idea for Cure Builder, because I have a pharmaceutical background, was wouldn't it be great if the families of patients themselves, physicians, researchers in specific diseases could not only give to charity and not-for-profits, which is very important work, and they need to continue to do that, but also directly get together and start and fund startup companies that are seeking to cure the diseases that affect their families, okay?
Right.
And so that, utilizing social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, to be able to reach a broader audience, but also a more specific targeted audience of investor who have a non-financial interest in the success of that company. Women who want to encourage and empower women entrepreneurs, okay, and see them grow. You know, the numbers of CEOs that are women in America are drastically low.
Right.
And in the finance areas, I think it's in like 10, 12%. And so there are very successful women CEOs out there that want to empower other women and show them the way to grow their companies and empower them. Consumer products. You ever see a product, a new coffee machine
Right.
that you really like, and how do I invest in this company? Okay, so there's the nexus between the product, the company, and why the investor is investing in that company.
John,
well, just really quickly, Jim, the tricky part that Ken needs to work out is it's wonderful to give that money, but you also need to get equity in the business.
Of course.
So that all needs to be taken care of in the back end. So you need someone who understands securities and how that works.
So for the people who are watching this show, or people who might pick it up on WLIW.org /LIBR, how would they make a contribution? How would do they just go on your websites, Karma 411 or ProSeeder, and this would kind of direct them to how to get involved and invest?
Yes, absolutely. Or you go to the partners that we work with. So you would go to the companies like Accelerate Long Island or to Cairn Rock Ventures and see on there, how can I support these companies.
But how do you promote and market what you're doing so that more and more people get involved? I mean, I know you don't like crowds, Ken. I don't want you, but you do want to funnel that the money in.
Yes.
Right. So the slight change here, and this is where the crowd, to an extent, and Ken's point is well taken, you don't want 10,000 stockholders. That could be problematic. However, if there were two ways that Ken could get someone excited about ProSeeder, one is comes up with a great info sheet, comes up with a great tagline, this is what ProSeeder does, finds a couple of venture capitalists and says, this is why you should invest in my company. That's great, and he's going to do that anyway. But if he had 10 other people who also thought this was a good idea and could reach out to other investors that they know and feel comfortable about, now you have 10 people doing what Ken would do.
It's a domino effect.
And even if Ken could talk to the connection of that investor, there's no way he could be as persuasive as the person who knows that person. So you need to provide a platform to let people that like your idea share with their network.
If you were going to look into the future of entrepreneurship on Long Island, what do you see? I mean, where are we going?
Yeah, I think we can get this done. I mean, I think we can grow into a Silicon Valley. We have all the resources here. It's really just bringing all these pieces together in a centralized place, going back to what I said is we're very spread out, and bringing it into a centralized place. And that's kind of what Accelerate and Mark Lesko are doing by using technology, including ProSeeder, to bring these connections together, to have events where all of these entrepreneurs can collaborate and interact and meet investors, and really centralize the business of getting entrepreneurship moving quickly on Long Island. And so I think we are going to get it done. It's happening now, and I see in the future it's going to happen.
John, are you getting any help from either Nassau or Suffolk County in the development of entrepreneurial efforts?
There are some supports from local government. I would say, though, that New York State has been the bigger supporter. But just to play off what Ken said before, New York State doesn't know where to invest the money. You know, they have some money and they'd like to invest it, and they know that these investments lead to growth.
Right.
But they just don't know. They don't know software. They don't know which company to pick. So it's a perfect combination. You were saying, where's the future?
Right.
The small 11,000 square feet that we have now, we really want an entire building. There's a project called ThoughtBox, which would be an entire building that is just filled with incubator companies.
Where's that going to be?
theoretically in Hicksville near the train station.
I see.
New York State said, look, it needs to be near a train station.
Sure.
You know, they like that model,
makes
so you
sense.
can commute very easily. But when I think about it, if you were going to ask someone, hey, what's a great success story for software on Long Island, someone might think Computer Associates, but they forget Computer Associates was a startup at one point.
Exactly.
So you have to focus on the startup so we have more Computer Associates.
Grew up to be one of the biggest software companies in the world.
Exactly.
You know, we are out of time.
Okay.
I told you it would be a fast 27
Right.
minutes. I would love to have you back on again and wish you all the luck in the world. We want to see New York and Long Island work together. We want to create jobs here, and nothing would feel better than if we could recreate a thriving Long Island economy.
Well, thanks for having us, and thanks for spreading the word, because this
Okay.
is what's important.
John, Ken, thanks so much. That wraps up our conversation on Long Island startups. Thank you, Ken Gatz and John Murcott, for being with us today. For more on the Long Island Business Report, log on to our website. You can also find us on Facebook and join the conversation on Twitter. I'm Jim Paymar. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Long Island Business Report, and we will see you next time.
Funding for this program was made possible by Charlotte and David Eckert and the Roush Foundation.